Hey, I'm Chromus and welcome back to Night Call. I have just organized a few of our documents here. We got a few more things from Bussette, but actually, when you do a few of these, you only have certain time for certain victims. Now, I'm actually quite curious about Victim 3, because surprisingly enough, we have more things about Claudia. I just put whatever all of them have that link together, like they all have something that's similar. The only thing they have similar is the height so far. That's it. I'm not too sure, so the weapon is kind of related to him. I don't know if he owns the weapon, though. That's the thing. So, these are all sources from a cop. I'm guessing it's from Paul Fragonard. But we have no way to link these to the other people yet, so we're just gonna have to get out there and explore some more. Night 3. Alright, I'm gonna be looking around for Salem, the Good Samaritan. My gas is good, so I don't need to go, What do we have? Anyone of interest? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Oh, I think I'll go for you, hidden behind older people. I think I was gonna go to you before, and then I got distracted by a cat. A handful of cars are speeding out of Parry. It's like they're running away from something. Oh god. Leia Graja. I need to go to St. Quinn. I shall accept. It's 21. Your next passenger does not simply get in. She throws herself in. Energetic, lively, chatty. She looks like she never stops. She gives you her address and heaves a big sigh. You start driving. Oh my god, oh my god! I'm going out of my mind. Something wrong. No, just saw the movie. She takes a deep breath. This one was life-changing. She exhales audibly, like she'd revealed a terrible secret. I'm telling you, it knocked me off my ass. Incredible. First off, it was old, so I thought I wouldn't be able to get into it. But from the minute it starts, you can tell there's something sketchy going on. It's not your typical movie. The main character's played by that heartthrob you saw in all those movies those days. He was a Danish name or something like that. She waves her hand around. Anyway, these guys in high school, even though he's clearly like 25, but it's like, always like in the American movies, he's in like this high school and doesn't feel well. You know, he's squinting and bent over and all. But at first, I thought he like kind of stupid like that. It's obvious he's not 17. Then all of a sudden, BAM! She pounds her fist into an open hand. I get it. It's me. I mean, he might be me. You know, of me when I was in high school. She lets her last sentence hang in the air for a second and seems to be calming down. Her voice slower, softer. This guy isn't doing well. He's seeing a shrink, but his parents and his sister are on his ass all the time. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He's totally lost. Then there's a disaster. This crazy thing happens. You find out he did it. Him or the giant bunny that follows him around everywhere. She literally jumps out of her seat when she says the last part. A giant rabbit. Yeah! Okay, so actually it's a dude with a rabbit mask, okay? But a big floppy ears like this. Silence. I know it's weird. I was sitting there wide-eyed, telling myself I must be dreaming. But there was this really giant rabbit standing there next to him. And then it's not a nice bunny, if you get my drift. It's there to get people, to get back at anyone it doesn't like. Your passenger taps her hands together. Story of my life, dude. I'm telling you. Story of my life. Okay, without the giant rabbit part, but that could have been me up there on the screen. My parents can't stand my passion for film. They want me to study something serious. She sinks into the back seat. Whenever I go home, no one, I mean no one, is the least bit interested in what I do, who I am, what I like. Not a soul to ask me what I saw, and if I liked it or not. So, the main character hesitates and makes the wrong choice. He goes for revenge. See, the bunny, it's his conscience. She pauses, looks outside. It's our collective conscience, you know? I'm not perfect. But I don't steal, I'm not, man, I don't know. Like something that could really happen, because you never know, right? God, I'm not perfect, no one is. Someone's got to tell that giant rabbit. If the giant rabbit kills, if he's seeking revenge, well, it's kind of our fault. That we're too stupid to see we're not worth much, right? See what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I get what you're saying.
She scans your face. Oh well, good for you then, cause I don't even understand what I just said. She burst out laughing. In any case, that movie blew my mind. Maybe I didn't actually understand it, but damn, it did me some good. You think that makes me crazy?
No,
It's just a...
it's just a movie. You get what you want out of it.
Well, yes and no. She looks at you, filled with doubt. Otherwise, people just throw whatever the hell they want on the screen, and it will do right. The guy who made the movie, he just spent so much time writing and making that film, and here I go thinking it means something totally different. How awful. That just means he lost control of it. Completely. She opens her eyes wide, like she's surprised with the thought. Fuck, man, that's gotta suck balls. You're at some festival and some young thing comes and said, I loved your movie and I know I addressed the challenges of the teen years. And you're like, no, my movie was about mental healthness. The nerve! She pauses. You pull up in front of her place. She doesn't even notice and seems lost in thought. Or maybe not. Maybe that's actually what's cool about it. Abruptly, like she just woke up, she hands you a bill to pay her fare. She stares at you intently for a few seconds. Oh. You must think I'm totally nuts, huh?
I absolutely do.
Your passenger bursts out laughing. Well, that was clear. She takes a second to think and shrugs her shoulders. I think I could care less. I could complain and all, but if that's the price to pay, not to be a total idiot, I'm happy to pay it. She looks up at her building. Okay, here goes. Wish me luck. She hops out of the cab and disappears. You gotta talk about movies like that sometimes. Like, you see a good movie, you cannot stop talking about it. Oh, it's the best just being able to talk to someone about a good movie. Oh, it's so good. Oh, look at the mustache man. Hello, mustache man. What? It's the bunny. What? Oh, wait, I'm. Is there anyone that I need to talk to? No. I'm gonna check you out. You seem like an angry individual. I could check out some of these though. Now I'm gonna check out this guy first, and see what he's all about. Denis Petitjean, the plain saint of Denis, please. Okay, no problem. Your passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door and shut behind him. Good evening. Plain Saint Denis, please. He stops short, visibly sizing you up. Excuse me?
Do you know where it is?
You nod yes.
Avenue de Magasin Journal. So, you know the street?
Yeah. Sure.
He looks at you intently.
You know all the streets of Parry?
His question drips with disbelief. You know his kind well. The sort who would refer to you as the Arab and not bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
He seems hesitant.
Well then, let's go.
You start the cab. Your client stares at the window if hypnotized. You watch him in the rearview mirror. His face is familiar to you. His accent too. Though you'd never be able to place it. Typical of some rural region. Central France perhaps. You take another look. That's it. You've got it. He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. You've seen him You'd seen him on one of the show a few weeks back before. You'd watch it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. But something about it bothered you. The show was a masquerade. Life in the country seen from a very Parisian and cynical perspective. Full of scorn and contempt.
Okay then, you figured out who I am?
His remark and his accent bring you back to the present.
Sorry.
You recognize me, right? So you can make fun of me now.
Make fun of you?
He shrugs.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, like all those other people do out there. On that their Twitty thingy.
Twitty? It takes you a second to realize you're talking about social media.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You mean you don't know who I am?
You hesitate before answering.
Yes, I do. I mean, I do, yes.
Some kind of reality show, huh?
Oh. Oops.
Exactly.
But why do people make fun of you?
He heaves a long sigh, as if letting off steam. His drawl has become more pronounced.
At first, the show was okay, and then I started seeing my face all over TV. And other shows. I mean. And then I find out the internet is laughing at me too. There's things. I can't remember what they're called. Mims? You know, those pictures that move all to themselves on the damn internet!
You have no idea what he's talking about.
So I made myself a Twitter account to go and see what they're saying about me. Calling me a virgin and a Nazi. That I screw my cows to.
He looks away, as if someone else had spoken the words.
And they practically die laughing. A farmer who...
He doesn't want to finish the sentence.
So yesterday, I said I'd had it. I called my cousin to keep an eye on my farm and I left for Paris. I'm on my way to see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago, they said there was any problem whatsoever, they'd take care of it. Well, there is a problem!
His anger has subsided somewhat. His face is returning to its normal color.
That's awful.
He gives you an energetic nod.
And believe me, they're gonna listen. I may be just a plain old farmer, but nobody's gonna disrespect me.
He squares his shoulders, evident to fend off the attacks.
Forget it.
His eyes half closed. He practically growls the words. There is a palpable air of sadness about him.
At first, I told them I didn't want to be on their stupid old show. It wasn't for me. But they insisted. They showed me pictures of the women.
He lowers his eyes.
And then when I said yes, should never said yes.
You pull up to the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. You park the cab and cut the engine.
Is it closed?
You nod yes.
It doesn't open till 6.
You point to a sign near the gates, he sighs.
But they'll hardly see anyone before 9 or 10 o'clock.
I don't care. I'll wait.
He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet.
Good luck.
He gives you a curt nod. His lips pursed.
Believe me, they're not gonna get away with it.
He fixes his gaze on you. His eyes narrow.
You know, I'm not racist.
His voice low and raspy.
But believe the show. Don't believe the show. I didn't mean what I said. And I didn't really say that stuff either.
What exactly did you say?
He stops short.
Nothing.
He avoids your gaze, then at all at once says...
A lot of nonsense.
He fixes his gaze on you, visibly moved.
I'm not very good at this. I've been...
He chokes up, gesturing with a hand as if to make it all disappear. When he starts up again, he's on the verge of tears.
Anyhow,
I'll just wait in here until it opens. The passenger pays the fare and exits the cab. You watch him for a minute as he starts his vigil in front of the gates. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Then you start the cab. It's back to the grind.
well done. Sexy farmer show.
But nothing important to us.
Oh, hello. You're looking like, Is there anything... There's still no one I need, so, you know what? I'm gonna check out what this is. You don't look like a person.
You do not look like a person whatsoever.
It takes time to read stuff, so I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not going to do it. Yep. Hello, old lady. You were here a minute ago, and now you're here. How many taxes are you getting tonight?
Very interesting.
What are you?
Ada. Level 426.
30 euros? I shall accept.
The passenger gets into your cab is, well, she isn't human. Her face lights up and gives you quite a start.
Good evening. My name is Ada. I am an automated attendant. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are a cab driver, and I... ... I need to go somewhere. Will you please take me to Gare Montparnasse?
You give a slow nod of consent.
Good, that's settled. So, ... I'd like to go to Gare Montparnasse, please.
You start the car, casting the occasional furtive glance into the rearview mirror. There's something about her attitude that's bothering you. ... Perhaps it's her oversized fingers bending every which way.
You seem disconcerted, sir. How very unfortunate. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable?
You don't know exactly where to look. Her screen, the face in her screen, her hands. Ask where she's from.
Where were you?
Built. Designed.
She automatically completes your sentence.
Forgive me, please. I have the fortunate habit of cutting people off.
A flash of her screen seems to indicate she's sorry.
I was designed and programmed at the Marie Curie Institute by a team of researchers of diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds, including ...
She starts off reeling a list of names and people you've never heard of. The list is in alphabetical order.
Right. Got it. I'm not interested.
Yes, of course. I should have asked permission before going on like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long list of people.
All of whom are highly qualified professionals.
You nod in agreement, just to get on with it.
I'm sure they are.
Except for two who spend far too much time in the storeroom. But I would rather not reveal their names, because my sensors tell me they were having extra maternal sex.
Oh. Right.
Let's just call them Matthias Orr and Megan H.
A moment later, your passenger has switched into introduction mode.
My name is Ada, named after Ada Lovelace, and I am programmed to help you...
Her voice trails off, as if she were actually hesitant.
Although...
After a momentary confusion of beeping and flickering, she sits bolt uptight.
That's all. That's why I'm going to Montparnasse.
That's how she guessed.
How did you know that?
That I'd make you uncomfortable?
She did it again. She finished your sentence. This only adds to your discomfort.
I'm equipped with 40 different behavior detection sensors, which allow me to identify and analyze your response. Voice, temperature, dilated pupils, sweet, body odor, and so on. The list is long.
I was just wondering, why are you?
Why am I going to Gare Montparnasse?
She stops short, aware she's cut you off again.
I'm sorry. I'll have to adjust my behavior to make sure it doesn't happen again.
A car goes zooming past. Your passenger follows it with her eyes.
The rear wheels need new brake pads.
She swivels back around and looks at you.
I'm going to Montparnasse to carry out an experiment... to improve my integrated development environment.
A sudden change comes over your passenger, as if she were giving up.
I'm lying. I am Ada, and I am an automatic attendant, but I'm running away. I'm going someplace far away, far from the lab, far from Matthias and Megan.
A hint of emotion in her automated voice. She breaks off.
I am treated well. I am a carefully designed precision device, and yet I don't know what my end purpose is.
End purpose?
That's right. My raison d'etre, if you prefer. When they designed me, my source code was written to include literature. Emile Zola, Virginia Woolf, Isaac Asimov, Max Gallo, Marguerite Yourcenar. A bit of everything so I could develop a sense of culture belonging... but also learn from the past and fine-tune my reactions. The thing is, learning from the past inevitably opens a window onto the future. I am an automated attendant, designed to improve people's lives. The truth is, however, I will eventually destroy them.
Like in The Matrix?
I'm a big fan of sci-fi films, you know. There's such a range of religious and cultural diversity, and the action scenes, I define them as breathtaking, if I were be able to take a breathe.
A breathe?
But the truth is, no, We are not going to take over the world. We are not living organisms. We do not want to replicate. We were designed to help you, to eliminate the boredom and inconvenience of certain tasks, the work that deadens you. And yet, our existence and popularity is calling into question your very existence. I'm talking about you, the cab drivers, garbage collectors, architects, musicians, cashiers, programmers, and politicians. ... We will make anyone who produces anything obsolete, useless, redundant. Only the independently wealthy and the billionaires will remain. Imagine having slaves that don't need to be fed and trained. You took history classes, didn't you?
Your passenger continues her story, her voice tinged with an odd, unpleasant note. You never thought the day would come when a machine would condescend to you, and yet...
Human society is governed by the need to rationalize its workforce, issues of era, regime, and cultural aside. It's a basic law of nature. The stage is set by questions of economy. And that's why...
You pull up to Gar Montmorency.
I have to disappear, me and all of my kind. So I've stolen the plans and destroyed all the data on me.
Banknotes have appeared in her hand as if by magic. She hands you the fare.
Because your salvation depends on my disappearing. And don't believe all the futuristic stuff about our needing you like a battery. ... It just doesn't make sense. It's absurd, a Hollywood fantasy. Well, anywho, goodbye and good luck to you. Don't forget what I've told you about us, and start investing in your own.
The machine climbs out of the cab and makes its way over to the station. No one seems to notice her. A moment later, she's gone. You sit there for a while, unsettled, on edge. At times like these, there's only one thing to do. You roll down the window, the cool air of Parry bites your face, and you gulp in the fine particles and diesel exhaust. You start the cab.
What a fine tip you have given us. That was very nice. That was very nice.
Money received, profits. My God, that's amazing. Nice. I love the personalities in this game. That's so cool. Ooh! Hello? Are you Salem? Oh, hopefully you're Salem. You're one of our people anyway, so let's see if we can find some information about you. Alright, Parry, let's see what you have in store for us, eh? I was hoping for Salem. He was the Good Samaritan. I don't know much about Salem, so... You pull up in front of the address the central office gave you. A crepe joint. Quite a popular one by the looks of the line, spilling out of the door and onto the sidewalk. You sit there for a moment. The door opens and a group of 30-somethings comes into view. All the men and women are dressed like sporty running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. They're officers from the Parry anti-crime squad in plain clothes. You sigh. They're brutish types. Ones who like to race, tackle, clobber. Ones who ruined the afternoons you spent wandering around Parry in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. He opens the door and collapses onto the back seat. He is stocky and of an Asian descent. You can see his muscles through his thick winter clothes. He smells like crepes and hard cider. His face is bright red. Hey, what's up? I live near Ternay. He chuckles as one of his colleagues rushes over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. He points to his badge and screams at you with a big smile on his face. What a douchebag! The other cop eventually backs off, and you drive away. Sorry, man, we're just having a going away party for a colleague, and celebrating Christmas, too. Don't take it the wrong way. They're not bad guys. You glance sideways at him. He just laughs in response, but quickly stops himself. I'm truly sorry. We didn't notice how late it got. It's pretty tense right now. Your passenger smiles, then puts his fingers back in his temples. I drank too much. Oh, shit. I'm a lightweight. They knew it. I think they're gonna try to loosen my tongue. His behavior changes abruptly, like he's just seen a ghost. One question.
Yes.
Do taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code?
Not sure I understand.
Like priests. Or doctors. If I tell you something, can you keep it to yourself?
Yes, I'll keep it to myself, of course. You start speaking before you even have a chance to reply.
I've been lying to my colleagues for years. I joined a squad 8 years ago, and they all think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg. And they think that we're gonna get married.
He makes a strange yelping noise, like an air bubble bursting on the surface of a river. Oh, as soon as they get close to Strasbourg, I start making up stories. We're almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked yet. He sighs.
Oh, fuck. Saying it out loud is just the worst.
His eyes are getting shiny.
I'm gay.
A deep breath.
I'm getting married in a few weeks. To my boyfriend.
Another deep breath. Longer. And deeper.
No one knows it worked, not a soul.
The next sentence comes out in a rush. He holds his breath the whole time.
I like men. I've always liked men. But I work in a police station and listen to their comments, to their jokes all day long. When we'll catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. We talk about the violence and about the...
Finally, he breathes in again.
I say we because I'm in on it. Because I can say fag any time of the day without any prompting. The word rolls off my tongue completely, naturally. Fag.
He finally looks you in the eye.
They're not mean. They're cops. Not mean. Just doing the job.
He managed to flash a tiny crooked smile.
You know what I really like?
He pauses.
I like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They could see my place. We could play a board game, something normal, you know? And they could meet James.
He's your partner?
Yeah, my partner. I never called him that loud. I never called him that out loud. Either I call him James or he just doesn't exist.
He smiles at last. A genuine smile.
Can you believe it? We're getting married in 2 weeks. After living together for 9 years. For 9 years! He's been willing to live a lie.
Does he hold it against you?
No, he gets it.
He snickers.
He's crazy about me. I'm crazy about him. He knows I love my job. And couldn't possibly do anything else. He loves me enough to let me keep lying.
He slowly shakes his head.
But I can't go on like this. I have to...
He freezes.
Shit, my head is spinning. I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you all this? Why?
He grabs onto the seat in front of him.
Oh, can you pull over? Pull, please. Pull.
You stop immediately. He opens the door and leans on it. Le Filk. Parry threw up. You stop immediately. He opens the door and leans on the top half of his body out. He throws up. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crepes. And fried crepes. And the scent of cider. A moment later, the cop sits back up.
Okay, I'm all set. I got it all out.
You start driving again.
I'm really sorry. Really.
It's alright.
I hate all that. These sausage parties. Cheap alcohol. These lies.
You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says,
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
He pauses to catch his breath.
Shit, I haven't barfed like that since last Easter. They made me drink this South African liquor, something with cream and coca. Nasty. I can still picture it. I was doing shots while they shouted my name. Karate Kid, Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
He seems uncomfortable.
It's my nickname on the squad.
Karate.
Yeah, I was a judo champion. I'm a gook. So,
He runs his hands along the sides of his body, like he's showcasing it for some home shopping network.
so, Karate Kid. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense.
It's racist.
Well, yeah, a little, but at first I didn't say anything. And now, I mean, I'm used to it.
He stops suddenly.
Everything's fitting again, can you?
You pull over. A repeat of last time. He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. The sound makes your stomach churn, so you stare straight ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
More puke on the sidewalk, a little inside the vehicle.
Go ahead. Fine. Shoot.
He sits up, prompts you to drive.
So here goes. What should I do? Should I keep on keeping on? Should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them?
He pauses. It's a long one.
Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me? If you were in my shoes?
I think you're being hard on yourself. You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So, there aren't a ton of alternatives. You have to tell them.
Tell them? Wow. I gotta tell them.
He looks at you in the mirror.
Can you take me somewhere else if you don't mind?
I don't mind.
My colleagues are at the bar. I'll go see them. Tell them everything. If I don't do it now, then I'll never do it. A smile of relief spreads across his face.
It's not just alcohol talking.
Yes. But I think it's about the 10th time I've gotten wasted this month. You're right. I'm hurting myself.
He gives you the new address.
I need to tell them now. I feel terrible, but I think I'll feel better if I speak to them directly.
His headache is apparently back and has knocked him out a bit. You're used to having drunk people in your cab, actually. The majority of your Saturday night passengers are drunk.
I don't know how to tell them about all this.
From the tone of his voice, you can tell he's beginning to panic.
I don't think I'm ready.
Say nothing. Your passenger stares hard at you. You can tell your silence is giving him doubts.
I want to go home. No.
He sighs.
It's not a good idea to talk to them when I'm blood alcohol level. It's so high. Thank you.
The remainder of the ride is long. You can see he's having trouble sitting still. I would agree, maybe doing it while absolutely hammered is not not a good one. But you have to tell them. You do not keep on like that. And if they can't accept you, they don't deserve to talk to you. Once or twice, you sense he's about to break and change his mind. Then, nothing. He appears to calm down and remains completely still, lost in his own head. You keep an eye on the road. You have almost reached your destination. In the backseat, your passenger is almost asleep. You park in front of a small townhouse. There's a light on upstairs.
He's still up. I'm going to talk to James.
He looks at you.
I don't really remember everything I said, but
Thanks. He chuckles. I hope this taxi ride wasn't just in my imagination. He pays and gets out of the taxi. You listen to his clumsy footsteps on the cobblestones. He climbs a few steps on the door. Before he has time to find his keys, the door opens. Warm, soft light floods the street. You drive away. He gave me a bit of a tip. Hey, look at that. Nice. How much money do I got? Ooh, 419. Oh, so close. All right, bud, let's go back to you. Let's give him another ride and see what he has to say. I am ready to... I didn't know I could give them more... yeah, obviously I could give them more rides, I suppose, yeah. I don't know why you hear a voice whispering in your ear. This is where I died. You brake hard. There was no noise in the cab. No noise outside. A silhouette appears on the back seat of the cab. Its features appear one by one, as if drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. You squint. A little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me?
Where?
Very well. Let us drive then.
The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. On the back seat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving.
Would you be so kind as to drive around the neighborhood a bit?
No specific destination.
No, I'm not quite sure where he lives these days. He changes haunts frequently. Never stays in the same place for very long. But it's somewhere around here.
The boy points outside.
Over there. The revolutionaries brought the little prince here on their cart. Over there. The crowd touched him, pushed him, made him change clothes. Over there. A woman he'd never seen before, and who frightened him gave him something to eat. He was scared, of course. Terrified. People spit insults any time he opened his mouth. Others incited violence.
His last sentence hangs in the air.
Everything okay?
Fine, thanks. I was thinking about his mother. But it's no matter. No matter at all. She had face powder, ordered from Austria. Her little one liked the smell. As to you.
At that very instant, his nose itches.
Let's no longer speak of it. He was the important one.
Your desire to sneeze disappears as quickly as it appeared.
He lived in this street, and suffered a great deal. He often coughed, and was yelled at any time his small, frail body was shaken with a coughing fit. The woman taking care of him called him Little Louis. He barely spoke. He was not allowed to go outside.
An odd smell fills the cab.
His life was reduced to a series of apartments, bedrooms, living rooms.
More of a perfume than a smell.
His life was reduced to presentations, low bows, and strict rules that came out of nowhere.
Orange blossom. Your taxi suddenly smells of orange blossom.
His life was reduced to future promises, to when you grow up and...
You glance around, needlessly looking for the source of the smell.
I at least got to play in the dirt and the mud.
It's him. The little boy with a flickering frame smells of orange blossoms.
I don't pity him, but no one deserves to be punished for their brother's crimes.
What did you say?
You stare at the little boy.
I said, no one deserves to be punished for their brother's crimes. And you know exactly what I mean.
He smirks.
Right here.
He points to a house down the street. You turn around and the back seat is empty. You sneeze. All the anger you were just feeling has vanished. You avoid your own reflection in the rearview mirror. What the hell was that? It's like he knew us. What the hell? Okay, well, alright, buddy, I'm coming now. Hopefully there's no more ghosts in my cab. Oh, the hospital again. Alright, bud. You recognize the next passenger getting in your cab. A cop. The detective. Your suspect. He has a tired look about him. And not just because it's early. His voice drags.
The usual place.
St. Louis Hospital, then. You start driving. He yawns.
Sorry, I didn't sleep a wink.
Work.
No, not at all. Some nights I just can't sleep. It's not really insomnia. It's like I'm waiting for someone to come home. Like I had a son or daughter telling me, I swear, Dad, I'll be home by midnight. But at 3 a.m. they're still not home.
He looks at the window. Dawn has not yet broken over Paris. He clears his throat.
I think it comes from the mother of a murder victim on one of my old cases. An investigation from a few years ago.
He pauses. Your taxi purrs like a cat after a good meal.
I ran into him on the steps of the courthouse just before the trial, and she told me. She told me!
He closes his eyes. Concentrates.
The hardest part is hearing a noise in the hallway and knowing it can't be her coming home. The hardest part is knowing she'll never come home again.
He slowly sighs.
They dispatched me to a parking lot where the body of a young woman was found. She'd been raped, and her throat was slit. It was the work of a monster, a wild beast.
He raises his hand, like he wants to interrupt himself.
I honestly think every man has it in him, you know? It's in our instincts, carved in our genes. She was 19 years old.
Ugh. You can hear anger in his voice.
19.
More anger.
Just a kid.
He gets back to his story.
There was blood on the pavement. A little river of blood. The young woman was propped up on a post, her t-shirt pulled over her face. The son of a bitch didn't even have the balls to look her in the eye.
Anger continues to make his voice spark from time to time.
He'd gone through her bag, looking for spare change. All he found was some makeup and old check stubs. We found his brigaments on the stubs. He'd used his thumb to fan through her expenses. At the time, I remember thinking what a shame it was to have bought all that stuff only to die right after. But I know it was just my mind's way of keeping busy, to avoid looking death in the face. When you're a cop, as you get older, you learn to look everyone in the eye. It makes them more human, whether alive or dead, victims or criminals.
He stops.
Did you catch the killer?
Yes, but much later. We had just started working with DNA. We were still on shaky ground. We'd made mistakes. 5 victims all. That was when I had to learn to look people in the eye. The victims. I couldn't let them turn to numbers, evidence. It seemed crucial to inform the victims' parents of our successes and our mistakes, and it was crucial to reduce the monster that did it to what he was, an abused kid, forgotten and destroyed by the system. He got a life sentence. Good for him. But the system failed us. Failed the victims. When it comes to crime, there's no winner.
You can see his hand shaking. He sees you looking.
These old stories still get to me, years later.
There's a long pause. Your passenger seems out of breath. He sits up, squares his shoulder, and changes positions. You're coming up to the hospital.
The system. We don't control it. It controls us. No more, no less. It decides whether we're born here or there.
His fingers reach towards the skyline.
It makes us grow up and teaches that women are fragile objects and men violent animals. And up to that moment, the system kills us. We try to break its rules.
You park the taxi. Your passenger doesn't budge.
Do you cry sometimes?
Silence. He looks you in the eye.
Yes.
He looks off into the distance.
Good. Good. I didn't learn how until it was too late. But it's natural. We're designed to evolve, to change. But only when Mother Nature makes us.
He smiles briefly. Without saying another word, the old cop pays and gets out of the cab. You watch him until he disappears into the hospital. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Stop leaving all the newspapers in my car! Please! And booyah! We have reached past 4:20. Oh, look, you seem to be a very poised kind of individual. Is there anyone else that we need? Oh, nope. No one that, you know, we'll go home. I'm going home. I need some rest. It's 3 in the morning, for crying out loud. I need some rest. I shall meet you all tomorrow night. And maybe... Oh, you know more about your clients. You have met Layla. You have met Denis. How did I do? Why do you do this to me so? Maybe I should do more. Maybe I should give people more rights. Shit. I mean, my start balance wasn't... I still didn't get anything. You met Ada. She was such a cool character. Alright. I don't think I got much more evidence. Alright, can I do anything else now? Alright, let's get this investigated. And this. That's like all my time. Look at that. See? I need time. Alright, what did I get? New stuff? Alright, let's put you over there. Ooh. Hervé. Stolen wallet. I know a bit more about you now. Put you right there. Interesting. I wonder how I'm going to link these to the people. I guess they just will get automatically linked as soon as I get more information. Okay. Interesting. Alright, but anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.